Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. And today we're getting into another dating topic. This one is modern dating apps only work for top tier men. This is part of a research segment that I did in regards to topics that are controversial to, or hot topics that are, on the minds of men or women. And right now, this is one of the topics that pertain to the men. Last time we did a video pertaining to women. So this one is one that is kind of like a hot topic for men right now, in the peak of discussions. Like I said before, pertaining to modern dating apps only working for top tier men. So after I break down what this whole thing means, then I want you guys to kind of put down in the comments down below what are your thoughts or whatnot, and I'm going to kind of get into my thoughts on it, like I said, at the end of the video and whatnot. So jumping into it, a huge percentage of men argue that dating apps have created an uneven playing field where small percentage of highly attractive or high status men receive most of the attention. Now, doing the research, it says that most of these debates center around things like height preference, income, expectations, dating app algorithms, top 10% of men discussions, ghosting culture, and matching inequality. There's just a list of a few things that were stated in the research. Now, I could see where this would be something that would resonate or be a topic discussion for a lot of men, because generally speaking, even outside of the app or online dating market space, it's always kind of been where a certain percentage of men were always had more access to the dating world than other men. That's always been an uneven ratio with that. If you don't believe this, if you go to any kind of social space, a club, a lounge, a bar, or you could even be in a very common non-nightlife social space, like whether you're in school or, any kind of place where there's a collection of people together, what you'll realize is that if you have an even or almost even amount of men and women inside a room, all the men will, generally speaking, though they might have the ones they like most down to the ones they like least, for the most part, they still would be okay with, getting to know someone in there. Like the majority of the men would gladly take somebody in that space, where the women will most likely say, there's maybe just one or two guys here that I'm interested in. Other than that, I don't want to talk to the rest. So that's always been the case in the physical world. So on the app or online dating world, it would, for the most part, carry over that same mentality. And the difference here being that while these seem to be more of discussion, this particular topic seems to be more of a discussion for modern times than it was back then. The rise of social media becoming a bigger entity than it was, say, like 15 or 20 years ago, where it was in its infancy, definitely has made it where a lot more people, especially since more people are less social now, have gone over to that space. So now where that space at one time may have been a pocket for people who, whether it's that they, I don't want to use the word socially were awkward, but maybe socially were shy, or maybe, they just didn't have the time, or were not maybe a club or lounge or bar kind of person, and they didn't know where to go to meet people. That space was designated for them. Now it has been flooded with, like I said, social media becoming what it is now. A lot less people are just going out to socialize for the purpose of socializing. So those places have flooded. This is obvious by the fact that 20 years ago, even 15 years ago, I think, but definitely not 20 years ago, you didn't have a ton of dating apps, where now there are so many dating apps that even it's advertised all over the place, like, Bumble, Tinder, even on, you could be watching a YouTube video and it'll advertise it on the YouTube video, on the ads part, or the little, the non-skippable ad / commercial that comes in the beginning of the video you might be watching. So you definitely know that the rise of it is definitely out there more. So with that, more people going to it, it has created this space where you have a lot more people have gone there, and by doing so, you're not getting the specialized kind of group of people or target market that used to be there maybe 20 years ago. So now you just have a flood of all the people out there just using them, and what that has caused in regards to this topic being a thing. Like I said, and this is a researched topic, so it's a real topic that's trending. Not just something that I'm just discussing randomly, because I researched this as far as it being a topic that's on people's discussion, not so much the research on whether it's pro or con or whatever the case is. And so since it is a topic of discussion, it means that this is obviously something that is happening. And so with the movement of social media also pushing this kind of space of trendiness and what's in, and keeping up with the quote unquote, the old phrase, keeping up with the Joneses, has been emphasized and exaggerated by social media. That is something that has carried over to the dating app or online dating space in general. And so that is why you have this topic of discussion taking place. Some other aspects that went along with the research is that it says many men in their 20s feel invisible on apps, while others argue men need to improve themselves rather than blame the system. Discussions about male loneliness and dating app burnout have exploded recently. So what you get from that is that it's gotten to a point now where some people feel that the bar keeps rising as far as what the guy has to do to be seen. But once that happens, it becomes a snowball effect of one begets the other. So it's like, well, now you have to get better or improve yourself to be seen. But once you do that, the bar rises, and now that bar is no longer adequate anymore, and eventually leading to just burnout of the whole dating market in general, at least in relation to online dating. So what are your thoughts, you guys? Put them down below in regards to, do you feel that that is a real thing? Do you feel that's something that's happening? Do you feel it's not happening? Love to hear from all types of people in regards to that discussion. As always, you guys, like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.